What is the secret sauce to building a championship team? Well, today's guest knows better than almost anyone. Welcome back to the Soul Inspiring Business Podcast. I'm joined by Acacia Walker, two-time U.S. gold medalist, head coach of the Boston College women's lacrosse team, and head coach of Team USA, whoop whoop, who will be competing in the 2026 World Championship in Japan. Now, this conversation may top the charts as one of my favorites because it is truly packed with golden nuggets and leadership and culture and mindset. Now, Acacia shares with us how she built a winning program at Boston College, taking a team that, get this, had never won a national title to now holding two national championships, 158 wins since 2017, the most in the country, plus 8 national semifinal appearances and multiple ACC titles. Now, they say that success leaves clues. So today we're diving into all of it. Her approach to building culture, identifying the right players, and how visualization and mindset shape performance. And we'll also open up about motherhood because amidst all of this, she has 3 awesome kids, a husband. And so, how does she balance it all? We're about to find out. So, this is an episode you won't want to miss, and it all starts now. I'm Kara, and welcome to Soul Inspiring Business. I believe that all of us possess unique gifts and talents that allow us to serve the world and our own growth in the highest possible way. Our lives are an expression of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. And here, we will explore businesses, thought leaders, and topics designed to inspire, helping propel your own growth so you can live your best and most purposeful life. Welcome to Soul Inspiring Business. Welcome back to the Soul Inspiring Business Podcast. Today, I am thrilled to be joined with Acacia Walker. I'm going to read you her bio. It's pretty impressive. Acacia Walker, she is one of the most accomplished coaches in women's lacrosse. As the head coach of Boston College in 2012, she led the Eagles to 2 national titles, 7 Final Fours, and more wins since 2017 than any other program in the country. A former U.S. national team star and 2-time gold medalist, Acacia was named the head coach of Team USA through 2026 World Championships. She's a 3-time IWLCA National Coach of the Year, has mentored 3 Tawaraton, did I say it right?
You did. Good job.
And which is really, just to put that in perspective, she has mentored these award winners, and which is the equivalent of the Heisman of women's and men's lacrosse.
Right.
She has built one of the most respected programs in collegiate sports. And off the field, she's a passionate leader known for her energy, resilience, and championship mindset. And she's a friend. So I get to actually hang out with this girl. So I'm just really excited that we finally made this happen because we've been talking about it for, a year now.
Yep.
And, one of the things that has just always really impressed me about you is the way that, as a coach, there is so much translation into like leadership skills and, and the way that you've built culture and team and just the energy that you bring to everything you do, whether it's on or off the field. So I'm just really thrilled that we can have this conversation today.
Me,
so yay. And to get started, I just am curious about how you decided to become, obviously you were a pro athlete, you were a 2-time gold medalist, but not every athlete can also succeed on the field and also as a coach. So what was that? Was it a dream, like this is what I want to do with my life? Or was it an evolution, or how did that come to pass?
Yeah, well, I think growing up, I loved sports. I loved being with my girlfriends. I loved competing. Growing up in Sherwood Forest, it taught me all about that, winning, losing, competition. And I played a ton of sports growing up. And I was always exposed to really good leaders, like, people who were shaping my life with just their presence. And my parents were huge influencers, and my older brother was a huge influencer, just teaching me properly how to compete. But it was really always about the relationships with the people that I was playing with. My parents weren't driving me to be the best or to win all the time. They were always teaching me to take care of the people that I was around and make sure that everyone felt taken care of and everyone had a place on the team. And, I think with that, I was lucky enough to be in Cindy Timshaw's world. She is ultimately the best women's lacrosse coach of all time. And she was the head coach at Maryland, and I went to a bunch of Maryland camps growing up, and I was exposed to her, and I fell in love with her spirit and the way she saw the game. It was very, there was a lot of visualization, meditation, understanding the spirit of the game. And she exposed me to someone, his name is Jerry Lynch. He's a sports psychologist, very prominent sports psychologist. I think right now he's working with the Golden State Warriors, and he was with the Maryland team at the time. And between the two of them, my family, Sherwood, I knew that I wanted to be involved in, bringing teams together and coaching. And lacrosse was just the vessel. And as soon as I got, when I got to Maryland, I really fell in love with the idea of coaching because Cindy was the best and her coaching staff was the best. And so I was lucky, and that's sort of how I knew I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be just like Cindy. I wanted to win, and I wanted to shape teams.
Yeah. And I'm curious, what does that, in terms of building a culture and team, because to do what you've done at a high level, to do it again and again in a collegiate coaching career, I think is a little different because you have so much turnover.
Yeah.
Every 4 years you're rearranging. Every year you're
Yeah.
rearranging the team, and you're also dealing with personalities that are coming in that are used to being the best
Right.
on whatever teams they're on, and
Yeah.
then trying to, how do you build culture?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you view it?
Yeah. Again, I think it's probably the hardest part about being a coach because there's just, especially in women's lacrosse right now, really any sport, the athletes are bigger, stronger, faster than they've ever been before. More resources to build muscle, to stay healthy, to recover, to fuel. And so there has to be an X factor. There has to be something that gets our team over the finish line because everyone is loaded with ridiculous athletes. And a long time ago, when I was lucky enough to get the BC job, it was me and my longtime assistant coach, Jen Kent. We decided that we were going to take Boston College and we were going to win a national championship. And that has a whole cool story too. But and we weren't very good at the time, but we just wanted to change the narrative at that school. We just wanted them to start to believe that they can accomplish something really big and we're not just going to survive college lacrosse, because that's just not how I'm wired, and neither is my assistant coach. And we just told them, we said, listen, we're going to win. We're going to win a national championship here. And, a lot of them said, she's crazy. There's no way we're going to win here. But you know what? I believe her. So we went on this mission, and it took us 5 years to get to our first national championship. But we did that with kind of house money. We weren't the best. We weren't the most talented. We weren't the fastest or the strongest. But we had a group of girls who knew that our secret recipe was going to be culture, and it was going to be taking care of each other. And so that's what we spent all of our hours doing in the locker room, because we knew we weren't faster and stronger, but we knew, okay, this secret recipe, this little ingredient of culture and sisterhood, real sisterhood, not just what everybody talks about, prioritizing each other, taking hours and hours of our day and our practice times, getting to know each other, figuring out who's vulnerable, why are they vulnerable, what is this from, is this their background, is this from family, is this from tragedy, what are these things that can connect us on a way deeper level than maybe some of our opponents who were just so much more elite as lacrosse players. And we ran with that for 5 or 6 years. And it got us to our first championship, and it got us to our second and our third. And then it wasn't until our third championship that, we figured out, we were like, okay, wait, we can't just rely on this one piece. We actually have to elevate the whole program and start bringing in blue chip athletes and cultivating the culture with premier athletes. Right. And then as soon as we were able to do that, we were able to win our first national championship. So I think the thing with Boston College, or what I have learned, is that if the culture is one that you can get girls or men, women, to truly buy into taking care of other people, then that translates on the field as the most powerful ingredient in competition. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. It was our first championship, and we had really good players, but the other team did too. And in the end, in a tight game, when it's tied and a national championship's on the line, culture is the ingredient that gets you the championship.
Yeah. I'm like covered in goosebumps because that's so amazing. And to just go back to even that initial conversation with your assistant coach and to say, Jen, did you say Jen? You know, to decide in that moment, this is what we're going to do. And then here's how we're going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And you're so right, because at the end of the day, it's the energy that you bring into a situation. It's, you know, there's a lot of people that are really great and strong and can compete, you know, but it's like, how do you bring the energy of that kind of sisterhood, as you said? That's that secret ingredient. So take us back though to the moment that when you all are sitting down and you're like, this is what we're going to do.
Yep.
Then what next? Like what do you do from there?
Yeah. Well, I was super chippy when I got my first head coaching job, because when I went to Maryland and played for Cindy, they had just won 7 straight national championships. I got there and they didn't win. We didn't win for 4 years. And I felt like such this like horrible failure that I let my coach down, my hero. And then that stuck with me. I went out to Northwestern and coached at UMass and won some championships there, but it wasn't my program. And I always sort of wanted redemption from that. And I was like, I have to get this championship. And a lot of it was to get it from my coach, who inspired me to live this life, who gave me this opportunity. I never won a championship for her at Maryland. And so I was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to find a way to build a team from scratch and go win a championship. And a lot of it was on behalf of Cindy. And I wanted to win her a championship, or prove to her that I could do it, because I really did not feel like I fulfilled my responsibility when I was playing for her. So that always stuck with me.
Interesting.
But you know, what we did, I mean, when we first took that team, that 2012 or 2013 team, you know, it was really just about, like I said, it's teaching the girls that if you can play, lead, live, it's really like, is our words, like you have to be unselfish. A lot of premier athletes are really focused on their own performance because they have a lot of killer instinct and they want to accomplish their goals. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you have a team, I believe that if you can get them to buy into being as unselfish as possible, meaning you before me all the time, then you have a group of women that are putting each other genuinely, not fake, not on the surface, like deep down, genuinely getting the desire to want to take care of somebody else, or help this person accomplish something, or help her be the superstar that day, or help her through this moment she's trying to get through, and get outside of our own desires and our own personal agendas. It's really hard to do because you want to protect yourself and you want to accomplish your own goals. But as a team, we always say, like, what is the ultimate goal? Do you want to be the best player in the country, or do you want to win a championship? And most of my girls, if not all of them, have learned over the course of their 4 years that it means sacrificing your own personal agenda. And that is really difficult to do.
Yeah.
And so we just spend a lot of time sitting with our girls, talking to our girls, getting to know them, and sort of breaking those barriers down. It's not easy. There's a lot of tears, a lot of fights, but we always come out on the other side of it, just getting girls, teaching them to put aside what's most important to them, or what's most important to them in that moment, and thinking about the long term and thinking about the team goal, taking care of your sisters, and living by that. It's really hard. Yeah. And so it sort of frames the style of our team. And hopefully when people watch Boston College Lacrosse, hopefully they see that it's a bunch of unselfish girls working really hard towards a goal. But I've always believed that that's the ingredient. I've always believed that you have to be more passionate about helping somebody else succeed than your own self, because then what actually you're getting in return is, if I have 30 girls on my team and I'm trying to empower 29 girls all the time, or hey, you score this goal, or hey, let's go out to lunch, let's take care of each other, then you have 29 girls also doing that for you. So you accomplish both at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just doing it with an unselfish mentality that's elevating the team, and you're not just paying attention to your own self.
Absolutely. And I imagine it's obviously, like you said, infused into everything. So in every team meeting, there's an element of that.
Oh, yeah.
Is there an exercise that you do or something like, or is it all the little moments?
It's like, it's a daily thing. It's, we're constantly, I don't do a lot of the X's and O's. Like I don't, I oversee it and we try to execute it, but I'm paying attention to how the girls are treating each other on the sidelines, in between drills, during drills, after a win, after a loss. Who's cleaning up after each other, what roommates are we choosing? Like all those little moments are where you can detect or sort of troubleshoot moments. Like those are the real moments when the emotions are high, or when they think no one's watching, or when you can kind of take your guard down after a win, or if you're super emotional after a loss, you really see the true attitudes. And so my coaching staff, we work really hard and we pay a lot of attention to those moments when we are always watching. And so, it's not just about making an extra pass. That's just like, that's easy.
Right.
We look a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Well, and it's having the relationship that you've developed over time to then be able to say, hey, let's have coffee, or let's do this because I noticed that this, right? And so
I think that's the hard part is a lot of people want to just sweep that stuff under the rug because it's hard to have hard conversations. And that's something that I have learned from my assistant coach, Jen Kent. She has 6 kids and they're all amazing. She's gotten me better at tackling those harder conversations. Just have it, rip the Band-Aid. You have to practice those hard conversations in order to get good at them. Right. And I think a lot of times girls just want to, and so do men, let's just pretend like that didn't happen. Let's not address that. It's just going to be a week of drama. And that's something that we do. We dive right in, we break it down, and then we try to fix it and make everything better. But a lot of people don't want to do that. It's hard to have hard conversations. It's not fun.
Right.
And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. But that's part of the culture that you've built to be able to have those relationships and those hard conversations and then still get through them.
Yep.
Right?
And get through them.
So that's awesome. Now I want to take us back to, because it's pretty awesome. Everybody here that knows you in our community is so excited for next year, 2026, because you were or are the U.S. Women's National Team head coach. And so super exciting. Yep. Take us back to the day you got that call. Like, what was the moment? Set the scene.
Yeah.
I
was sitting on my porch. It was a couple weeks after the interview, and I have really had no idea if I was going to get it. I mean, the people who are going for it are incredibly talented, and some of my heroes and some of my favorite people. So I didn't know. I didn't know if I was going to get it. My husband really pushed me to do it. I thought maybe it would be too much with our family, and there's already so much going on, but Morgan pushed me to do it. He said, listen, let's go for this. Let's do this as a family. I got my mom and dad on board. I said, Mom, if I go for this, I'm going to need help. And my whole family sort of pushed us to do it, and got the phone call. And it was for one of my old USA teammates, which is cool. She's on the board. And I was nervous. I was like, I was shaking. I was so excited. And then immediately I wanted to figure out how to tell Morgan and my kids. That was where my first thought came. I was like, how am I going to tell them? This is so fun. So I wrapped up my old jersey that I found downstairs in our basement. I wrapped it up and I put it in a little bag. And I said to Morgan and the kids, I was like, let's go out to dinner tonight. Let's just go, let's go out to dinner. And then at the end, I just had Wesley open up the present, and it was my old USA jersey. And they all just looked at me, and Morgan looked at me, and he was like, did you get the job? And I was like, we got it. We're going to be Team USA.
Oh my goodness.
It was really fun. And then Wes wore the jersey, and
I'm like in tears.
I know. It was cool.
Really
it was a cool moment. Yeah. The kids, Rocky didn't get it, but someday she will. Wes and Walker got it, and Morgan was so excited. And, Yeah, it's been quite the journey so far. It's really hard, but it was a really incredible moment. And I'm proud that, I have a husband that pushed me to do it and family members that will help because I can't do it without everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so for 2026, you're going to be leading them it's in Japan.
Yep.
So tell us about just then. Okay. So you get the call.
Yep.
Then what?
So I got the call. There was nothing because it was in the middle of the playing season. So they try to be really respectful of our college seasons. Mm-hmm. But I immediately started looking at rosters and thinking about who I wanted to coach on the team. And then summer came and we had to do our invites for the first camp. And so we did that. We were able to bring in 40 girls, which was great. It's a good number. It's a good chunk of people. And it was an invite, but it's a player pool style. So you can bring people in, bring people out, plug them in and out just until you get a core group of girls that you want to work with. Mm-hmm. And so then we had our first camp down in Florida last year, and it was incredible. So fun, playing in front of a couple thousand people because it was in the middle of a big recruiting tournament. And then we've had to, over the last year, we had to cut it down to a smaller group for this past summer's qualifier for the World Cup. So we went down to Florida and had a qualifier. So then that was the experience we had making those first cuts, which was not fun. But again, it's a pool, so we can always bring people back.
Right.
And in the next 6 months or so, I think we'll probably get closer to our team, and I hope to announce the team by January. It's been fun. It's hard. It's really hard having to tell someone they are no longer on the team. I mean, it's like against my human nature to want to tell someone they aren't there yet. Yeah. But on the other side, you get to make some of those amazing phone calls and tell them that they've made Team USA. So
right. And so then how is that forming team and building culture like when you're not with them every moment?
Yeah.
So what does that look like, just out of curiosity?
Well, I should go back. The first thing I did was I built my staff. So I wanted to bring some of my closest friends. Some of them were my USA teammates, some of my BC coaches. All the people who I believe make up and believe the same things that I do, being unselfish and, creating culture before, putting a game plan together. But, my staff feels the same way that I do. And I think, that's been good because we're all very united. And I think that's the most important thing is staff has to be a certain way. And then all that trickles down. So I picked a really close group of people that I trust and admire. And we came together and for months decided what we wanted sort of the goals to be, what the mission was, and then the standard. And we all created this, plan for what we wanted the culture to be like. Because you can't just say this is our culture. Right. It takes years and years and years of work, and it starts with the way that we are. So on our first team meeting, we went down through the pillars of USA Lacrosse and the things that we expect and the standards and expectations. And we just said, these are things that we're going to be looking for. All of you guys could be on Team USA. I mean, these girls are the most beautiful athletes that you've ever seen in your life. I mean, they're beautiful athletes. And we just said, we're going to be looking at a lot of those in-between moments to see who embodies this unselfish, true character. Those are the people that I want to coach into a World Cup and to win a gold medal with, because there's so many girls that could do it. But we're looking for that special ingredient that we are teaching at BC and now trying to bring it into Team USA.
I love that. Exciting. We'll all be watching
Good.
2026.
Yep.
So, gosh, there's so many different things I want to ask you, but I know we're running out of time here. So 2 more things. So one would just be, I know you mentioned that you learned from your coach back in Maryland, visualization, meditation, and that. What is your practice?
Yep. Me personally?
Yeah, personally.
Yep. I fell in love with sports psychology and visualization and, mental toughness and mental training. And so our girls, my team, we visualize 4 or 5 times a week. We go out onto the field and I make them lay down and it's quiet and I want them to, breathe and, smell the air and listen to the sounds and calm their body and really relax their muscles and bring their whole nervous system to a place of calm. And then I walk them through little, pieces of visualization, and I'll do similar things every once in a while. I'll jump in with them. I'll lead it and then I'll jump in with them. A lot of it is just, conquering scary moments or, doing, visualizing something that they want to see themselves do well. And I believe so much that what if you can get your mind to a really calm place and then you visualize properly, those mental reps, that rehearsal is better than any actual physical rep that you can do.
Yeah.
And we work on this all fall. I teach them, I make them study athletes that do it. I make them study the most current, forms of visualization and meditation. They come back, they report what they've learned to the team, and then we put it into practice. But I've gotten them to the point where they'll come off the field in a game and they'll come running over to me and hug me and say, that was my moment. I just did my moment. That moment I've been visualizing for 6 months, that scary moment, that was it. And I just did it. And to me, it's like almost one of the greatest parts about coaching is that seeing these girls believe in visualization. Because I know it's hard. Some people are like, that stuff's hokey. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I always tell my kids, I'm like, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. But if you do believe in it, we're going all in.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. And I think over the years, I've gotten more buy-in. But I do it a lot with them.
I love that. I was just reading this book, actually listening to it on Audible, and it's by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yep.
And there's actually a study. This would be interesting to share with your girls. So there's a study that they had people actually do like these finger exercises and like use it to strengthen their muscles.
Yep.
And then they had people that didn't move their finger, didn't physically do the same exercise, but did it mentally.
Yep.
They studied them afterwards. The people that did it mentally, their fingers were stronger.
Yep. I believe it.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And so I think the power that we have to create is incredible.
Yeah.
And so the more that we can really lean into that and figure out, okay, if I have got the power to create, what am I creating?
Right.
And be conscious and intentional in what you want to create.
Yep.
It's really amazing.
Well, it goes back to what they say, what you think, or what is it? What you think you are, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Henry
Ford.
Yeah, Henry Ford. And there's another one. I forgot. I should have this on the top of my head. But just how your shapes do create your reality. Your thoughts, create your reality. And I don't think a lot of young women or older women really buy into that. And I really do buy into it. And I've seen it work with my girls. I've seen it work. And it is. It's a powerful tool. I wish I used it a little bit more myself, but I do definitely believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. This book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, is the one I was listening to by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he has like so much of the science in it. And I always believed it, but I didn't know the science behind it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what people need to study more, because I think sometimes they need that proof to believe in it.
Yeah. For those that need more proof, it's a good resource. So,
well, it's the same thing with the Navy pilots, how they always, I don't know, I've seen it on Instagram where they show how they visualize together as a team in their fighter jets, and they're like coordinating with each other through their thoughts and their voices, but they're just sitting at a desk.
Really?
It is one of my favorite things to watch. I showed my girls this past year. It's very, very, very cool. Oh, same thing, same concept.
Interesting. Now, do you also meditate or do that
I do
personally?
when I can't sleep, and it helps me.
Yeah,
I do when I need to fall asleep, or if I'm waking up and stressed about something, I will meditate.
Yeah, yeah. And really, what you're talking about in terms of like finding the quiet, that's meditation. It's not necessarily, it's just quieting the mind.
Yep, quieting the mind, calming the mind. Yep.
And then last thing is really just about your family and work, and like, how do you balance it? I mean, where do you draw the line on certain things? How do you make sure that you're being there for your kids while also being there for your team?
Yep. It's really hard. For me, it's hard for every mom. I'm lucky enough that I've been able to merge my two worlds. So coaching at Boston College and having my family at home, they are actually like one and the same. My kids are always at practice with us. They're always on the road. My girls have helped me raise my children. They're such prominent figures in my kids' lives. And so, Boston College supports having my kids on the road with us. I mean, my daughter is on the sidelines with us on almost all the games. Rocky and Walker, they come to practices all the time. And I'm lucky enough to be able to sort of merge it. But also, my husband is so supportive. And in our industry, if you don't have a supportive spouse, you can't be a successful coach. So I give most of the credit to my husband, who not only supports me being on the road and this job that I don't set down when I come home. This is, I'm a mom to 40 girls 24 hours a day. So, they help me at home. My family helps my program, my husband, and then, my parents too. They're incredibly supportive. And, but I do think I've been able to merge my two worlds, and that is a blessing, because without that, I wouldn't be a good mom and I wouldn't be a good coach.
Yeah. Well, and I think also I'm a true believer. I mean, I couldn't do half the things I do without my husband and having a strong partner. I think that's super key. But also from every aspect of you, like going back to creating what you want.
Yep.
I mean, team has just been part of like your world, and that translates to the field. It translates to family. It's like, how do we operate as a team? And building that culture in family and, work.
I think it's the common denominator, again, is being unselfish.
Yeah, for sure.
And hoping that you can help someone else accomplish their goals.
Yeah.
And when you put that out there, then you also have people who are trying to help you, accomplish your goals.
Absolutely. Well, this has been so fun.
Thank you,
Thank
Kara.
you so much for your time.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I'm glad we made it happen. So
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For anybody that wants to know more and also follow Team USA, their journey, we're rooting Team USA for 2026.
Next year or so.
Yep. So Acacia, where is the best place that people can follow you or learn more about you?
Yep. I would say, USA Lacrosse, just Instagram, BC Lacrosse on the Instagram. It tells, really powerful stories. They do a really good job keeping people informed. But also there's a lot, on ESPN, and there's a lot of women's lacrosse games on television now. Follow along.
Yay. Great. Well,
Thank
thank you
you
again.
Thank you.
Loved being here with you today and would love to connect with you more over on Instagram. My handle is linked to the show notes, or you can just type in @Chaffin Donofrio. And I have something special for you as a free gift, my Dynamic Life Journal. This special book has the power to really help you live a soul-inspired life. Go to freegiftfromkara.com. Easy to remember, freegiftfromkara.com. Until next time, beautiful people, sending all my love.